just going to talk about drawing graphs using the three different methods again. So hopefully people have put a lot of study into it, and hopefully you should all be comfortable with the following three methods here. You do need to know all three methods, but there is one method that stands at the top compared to the three because it pretty much helps you out a lot. Okay. So this is the first method here. You are using the table of values. Okay. So it's going to create a table of values. So you're given a graph, you're given an equation. What you're going to do is pick random x values on the x-axis to substitute, okay? Now, what I like to do, I always choose like some easy numbers to work with, 0, 1, 2, something like that. So since you're choosing those numbers, you can just substitute those numbers in, and you should end up with 4, 2, 0, okay? Now, once you fill it out, you can convert your table of values into coordinate points. So I can now write this as 0, 4, 1, 2, and then 2, 0, just like that. Once I have these points already set up, I can just plot them in, okay? So I can just plot one more here, 2, 0, and then just grab a ruler, you draw a line, okay? Like, I don't need to show you the rest, okay? Actually, I will show you the rest because you need to know how to get perfect marks on this. So just give me one moment while I line this up. All right, let's draw this line. Right, couple things that you need to label. Okay, you are going to label the x and the y-intercepts right here. So label x, y intercepts. Okay, so that's highlighted in yellow. Now, in blue, you are going to label x, y axis. And then in green, you are going to write the equation of the line. So the equation of a line is y equals to negative 2x plus 4. And that's what green is. Okay. So once you have that, your graph is perfect. Okay. Now, drawing graphs using the x and the y-intercept, this is the recommended way. Okay. Recommended. Okay. The reason why it's recommended is because just remember to draw a graph, you need two coordinate points. So all you need to do is find the x and the y-intercepts because those are two coordinate points already. And once you've already found them, if you remember from here, you actually have to label your x and your y-intercept on the graphs themselves. So you pretty much kill two birds with one stone. So that's why you always want to use this method right here, okay? So let's just go through it now. So just remember, you're basing this off finding the x and the y-intercepts right here. So let's just start off with that. So to find the x-intercept, you're going to let y equal 0. So that means substitute y equals 0. And then you solve for x, okay? So let's just do that right now. Y equals to negative 2x plus 4. Let's substitute y equals 0. And now we're just going to solve for x. And let's just solve that like normal. So these cancel out. So that means x equals to 2. So you have the coordinate point 2, 0. So that's your first coordinate point right there. This is what we call the x-intercept right now. Now the y-intercept, you are going to let x equals 0 and then solve for y. So substitute. So y equals to negative 2x plus 4, y equals to negative 2 bracket 0 plus 4. And remember, anything multiplied by 0 just equals to 0 anyway, regardless of sign. So don't worry about it. So it becomes 0 plus 4, and 0 plus 4 equals to 4. That means this is your y-intercept. So now you have these two coordinate points here. You have 2, 0, and you have 0, 4. You are now just going to plot them on your graph, and then you just draw a line straight through those points right here. Okay. So let's just do that real quick. And now you're going to label the line y equals negative 2x plus 4. We've already labeled the x and the y-intercept, and we're done. Okay. Just like that. So we have the gradient intercept method. This is going to be a bit tricky. Right here. Let's have a looky what's actually happening here. I'll be right back. So I've just updated the slides really briefly, so we'll just talk about it really nicely. Hopefully it's quite straightforward. Okay. Now the gradient intercept method is known as the infinite staircase. Okay. Yeah, or like not infinite, but it's more known as the staircase method. Okay. Now if you remember, this is based off the gradient here. Gradient. This little text. Rise, which is the numerator, tells you how many steps you go up, whether the gradient is positive, or down, whether the gradient is negative. And the run just tells you how many steps you go across towards the right. Now, the gradient intercept method, it relies on the formula y equals mx plus c is, and you need to identify what m and c are. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So in my example, y equals negative 2x plus 4, visually we can see that m equals to negative 2 and c equals to 4, which is the y-intercept. Okay, now how are you going to apply this into practice? So you are going to start your graph where the y-intercept is. So you just plot it. Pretty much just plot the y-intercept first. So when you draw your Cartesian plane, you're going to spot where the y-intercept is and you're going to circle it in and label it at the same time, okay? Just make your life 10 times easier. Once you do that, you're going to have a look at the gradient, okay? This is your look at your gradient, okay? So we know that m equals to negative 2. Now, because it's a negative gradient, we are now going to work downwards, which is based on this text right here at the top. So with that in mind, we know our graph is going to go somewhere like this, and then it's going to go down, and then it's going to go like this, going to go down, go like that, go down, stuff like that. You get the idea, yeah? So let's carry on. Okay. So because m equals to negative 2, the negative just tells us the direction, okay? So the negative sign tells us direction. That's it. Now, another way of writing this 2 here is in the form of m equals to rise over run. So if I were to write m equals rise over run, I might as well just write as m equals rise over run. That equals to negative 2 over 1, just like that, okay? So as you can see, the rise is correlated and the run is correlated like that. So if I draw my graph, I am now going to move across to the right by 1, just like so. And now I'm going to go down by 2 y values. And then I'm going to move across to the right by 1. And then I'm going to go down by 2 values. And I'm going to keep going until I reach the edge of my graph, okay? Now, when that happens, at these points here where I'm just marking as an X, that's technically where the line follows, okay? So when that technically happens, you can just connect these two, and then you just draw a straight line, just like that. And then you're going to label it exactly how you would typically y equals to negative 2x plus 4. You're going to label this as 2, 0 because that's the x-intercept. You've already labeled your y-intercept, and then you just go on from there, okay? Now, what happens when your gradient is a fraction? Okay, this is what you're going to do. Just remember, gradient is rise over run. So if it's a fraction like that, just read it exactly how it is, okay? So this is your rise, that's your run. So you are now going to move 5 to the right because that's your run, and then you're going to move upwards by 2 because that is your rise, okay? Just like that. And if your gradient value was a negative, then instead of going upwards, you will now go downwards, okay? But it's the same concept right here. So if I have a look here with this equation, y equals 2x plus 2 over 2x, 2 over 5x plus 3, I've already stated the fact that the y-intercept is 3. So I'm going to start where the y-intercept is. And if you have a look here, I am just going to apply that same logic of the rise over run. So my run is actually going to go across by 5. So I'm just going to draw that. I'm going to stop right there. And then my run is going to go up by 3. And that is how I get my second coordinate point. Once I have my 2 coordinate points, I can just connect a line to it, okay? So I'll just finish off the graph. So this is y equals 2 over 5x plus 3. Now, because we didn't draw deep enough to show the x-intercept, that's perfectly fine. We've at least labeled the y-intercept, okay? And that should be more than enough. So this method is like the order is technically, this is the order you want to work in. So you want to work in this order. So this is your number 1. This is your number 1. Okay. This is your number 2. And then your table of values will be your last resort. Okay. Please make sure that you learn the intercept method. Please, please, please learn it. Okay. Take some time. Okay. Try and practice it. If you're still confused, please let me know so I can help you out in class. Okay. Take care. And if you need some further explanations on this gradient intercept method, please let me know. I will help you as well. Goodbye. Have a lovely day.